There comes a moment in every life when the mirror stops lying, when all the noise, the excuses, the blame, and the busyness die down, and you're left with the raw truth. Your life is the sum total of your choices. Not your parents' mistakes, not your boss's temper, not the economy, not the government, not the weather. Yours. And in that terrifying, liberating moment, you realize something that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. You are responsible. Not partially, not sometimes, entirely. It's a heavy truth, but it's also the key that unlocks every locked door in your life. Because the moment you accept full responsibility, you take back your power. You reclaim your role as the architect of your future. But we don't live in a culture that teaches us that. We live in a culture that teaches us to point fingers, that teaches us to scroll, to swipe, to distract, to blame the algorithm, to wait for the next update, the next raise, the next relationship, the next January 1st. But here's the secret that those who rise have always known. Life does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your standards. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb because he wished the dark away. He failed 10,000 times because he held himself to a standard that said, "I will find a way," or "I will die trying." Abraham Lincoln didn't lead through civil war and division because it was easy. He took responsibility for uniting a nation that was breaking itself apart, not because he had to, but because he chose to. Personal responsibility is not about guilt. It's not about shame. It's about ownership. It's about understanding that everything in your world is a reflection of what you've tolerated, what you've settled for, and what you've failed to change. And the good news? That means you can change it. But change doesn't begin with a morning routine or a fancy app or a weekend seminar. Change begins when you stop lying to yourself. When you stop pretending that mediocrity is acceptable, when you stop defending bad habits with clever language, when you look yourself in the eye and say, "I am better than this. I was made for more." See, we love the idea of transformation, but we run from the truth that precedes it, accountability. And that's why personal responsibility is rare, because it requires you to confront the gap between who you are and who you could be. And that gap, that's where most people quit. That's where the average stop walking. But you, if you're still listening, you're not average. You're one of the few who are willing to take the long, hard road to freedom. Responsibility is not a punishment. It is the ultimate privilege. Because once you own the problem, you also own the solution. So stop waiting for someone to rescue you. No one is coming. Not the perfect mentor, not the right timing, not a miracle disguised as a shortcut. The cavalry isn't on the way. You are the cavalry. You are the one you've been waiting for. The moment you decide that your life is your fault is the exact moment you take the steering wheel from fate's hands and put it back into your own. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's overwhelming. Yes, it will require everything you've got. But so did building every bridge, writing every symphony, surviving every storm. So did climbing Everest. So did starting over. Because here's the truth. You are not overwhelmed. You are underdecided. And once you decide, once you truly decide, nothing can stop you. The world will move for a man or woman who has decided that excuses are a luxury they can no longer afford. So decide now. Decide that from this moment on, your results are your responsibility. Your emotions are your responsibility. Your income, your mindset, your reputation, your relationships, your future, all yours. Because once you stop outsourcing your responsibility, you stop outsourcing your power. And when power returns to your hands, your real life begins.